What is up, my Yu-Gi Bros? I'm your host, the RJB0. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! On Business Casual. So the Monarchs Storm Forth has come to Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, so I figured I'd test it out. I'm kind of breaking my own rule here because I talked about why hands are not necessarily a good idea for Monarchs in previous videos. However, I'd figured that I would try them out as a combination, and it's worked fairly good so far with the addition of Monarchs Storm Forth and a couple of the Monarchs. I think I'm running a few too many Monarchs in this video. I end up dead drawing them a couple of times, but as you'll see, the build for this deck has actually changed a few times throughout the course of this video. I'm kind of alternating between wins and losses. Here you see that I am kind of dominating against Archfiends, partially because I get that early Majesty's Fiend off, and then I don't have any troubles from there. Now I'm fighting against Sylvans. This is a duel that I lost. Once again, I'm alternating between duels that I lost and duels that I won, just so you guys can get an idea of the way the deck that I'm using works. So he opens up fairly strong, hitting a Curry Bandit very early in the game, which goes into Princess Sprout, etc. He Fiendish Chains my Majesty's Fiend, which makes me think perhaps it would have been a good idea to hold on to my Ice Hand. I do make quite a few misplays over the course of this video, and I'm going to point them out as I go. One of them was tributing that Ice Hand to put the Majesty's Fiend on the board. I knew that he had a back row, which meant that I was basically guaranteed to at least get one Ice Hand and one Fire Hand off against him, and then of course I did still have the Majesty's Fiend for later for the clincher play. However, I decided to go for an early game to try and block him out, and that did not work because he did have the Fiendish Chain. And as you'll see here, he's kind of going crazy on me. He goes for Dragasack, which I then Forbidden Chalice. He uses Spore, banishing his Titanial to synchro with the Dandy token to get a Leo, and then goes for Curry Bandit, and in the end phase uses the Curry Bandit's effect, getting quite a good mill off from there. He uses the Peacekeeper to summon Dandelion, and then it comes to my turn. I actually scoop from here, even though I probably could have grinded it out, trying to use the hands to destroy most of his field, and then I could have waited for a Monarchs Storm Forth in order to take that Leo off the board. The Monarchs Storm Forth is actually pretty amazing because not only does it not target, but it also doesn't destroy anything. You actually, you can just activate Monarch Storm Forth, and unless they have a way of negating it, they can't block their monsters from being used for the tribute. Since the Monarch Storm Forth doesn't actually affect any monsters, it allows me to use other monsters as tributes, but it doesn't actually, if you lance a monster, you can still tribute it for a Monarch with the Monarch Storm Forth. And it also doesn't target, so it's great for taking out Leo. You'll see later on in the video that I get to use it against Excalibur. In this video, I'm playing against Dragon Rulers, and I start off with an early combination of Monarchs and Monarch special tribute cards like Storm Forth and Soul Exchange, and then of course Return of the Monarchs, which is my wind-up factory for the deck. So I actually get my opponent in a pretty serious bind early on. It has a little bit to do with the fact that he can't seem to get Dragon Rulers out. However, he does put some Dragon Rulers in the grave and get going. I use the Fire Hand to destroy one of his monsters, and then during my next turn, I use the Monarch Storm Forth instead of Soul Exchange. I was considering using Soul Exchange and saving the Monarch Storm Forth for another time, but I decided to just totally clear his field by using Storm Forth, banishing Tempest with Caius. And now I've got an Ice Hand and a Caius on the board. He does go for the Exciton Knight, but I also do have two Soul Exchanges now, and I use one of them to take out the Exciton Knight, summon Majesty's Fiend to make sure he can't use any rulers next turn, and then I draw for turn, and I get MST to take out his Mirror Force. I could have also tributed the Majesty's Fiend for Caius to put that card on the top of his deck so he can't use it. Here's a duel that I lost against X-Sabers. Once again, a couple of pretty crucial misplays in this duel. It starts off, the really bad misplays start off right off the bat. He summons the Emmer's Blade and goes to attack my Ice Hand, In all reality, I probably should have left my Ice Hand here after I lost both my Caius, or my Ryza, and my Search off of Return of the Monarchs, which is not a fun thing. I should have just left that Ice Hand in defense, because then it just got deprisoned, and that was something I probably could have avoided. Sorry for the interruption. So now I draw, and I've just got nothing right now. I'm in serious trouble with just a Monarch. Return of the Monarchs. The problem with Return of the Monarchs is you can only use one of it per turn, or you can only have one of them on the field at a time. So having 2 Return of the Monarchs is kind of dead, and I don't like that. That's why I only run 2 in all of my variants of the deck. I use my Fire Hand in order to destroy a bunch of his monsters, but the problem is I then summon the Ice Hand in attack position to get some extra damage. I really should not have done that, because then he gets a Silent Honor Arc-it, and then I lose because I can't respond to it. We're going to finish off on a high note playing against Noble Knights. This is actually probably the best demonstration of the ridiculous stuff that you can get out of this deck between Monarchs Storm Forth and the hands. He uses Boars during the first turn, equipping it with Destiny, and then equipping it with Gwen, trying to activate its effect, and I chain Fiendish Chain. He summons another Boars, and then uses another Gwen from his graveyard to equip to that Boars. I Veiler the Boars, and this turn I decide to get rid of it. I use Monarch Storm Forth, tribute one of them, summon Ryza, send the other one back to the top of his deck. Now my advantage is crazy, because all he has is that Boars. He equips it with Gwen. I have yet another Veiler, and during the battle phase, I can just attack over the Boars. During my next turn, I draw another Storm Forth, and I decide to go on the attack for this one, attacking him directly with both monsters. He draws into Peridor, goes for Eoktar. He goes for an interesting play here that I didn't think Noble Knights were really into doing, but he does get quite a field going with this turn. Being able to attack me with Lancelin and Peridor. I then use the Fire Hand to take out Peridor and summon the Ice Hand, but then I use Storm Forth to put a Majesty's Fiend on the board and end the game. So there you guys go. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why in the comment section below. And of course, subscribe for more deck discussion, analysis, and general Yu-Gi-Oh! Shenanigans. Meanwhile, thank you guys for watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0, and I gotta jet. See you guys.